Hello everyone, welcome back to Connect to Chess. Today we are going to analyze a game between Javokhir Sindarov and Fabiano Caruana, played in the round 4 of candidates. Before going into the game, uh, as you see the title of my video, Javokhir, you beast. I'm saying that, but he's a really humble guy. The reason being, in the interview before the candidates, he said that there is no way, like he thinks he's the weakest player in all of the 8 players. His rating is 2759 and he says he's the weakest, and he thinks like the favorites are Hikaru and Fabiano, like everyone else is a favorite in the tournament. And then he comes in into this tournament. He beats Pragnananda with black pieces. He beats Andrei Esipenko in round one, beats Pragnananda in round two, and now he's beating Fabiano Caruana in round four. So he has a score of 3.5 out of 4 in uh, in the first 4 rounds of the candidates, and this is the first candidates he's playing. So yeah, like I'm really excited to analyze this game and looking forward to more games of Javokhir Sindarov. So let's quickly start analyzing this game. So Javokhir starts with d4, d5, c4, and e6. This is Queen's Gambit declined. A very well known variation and played in a lot of games in top chess tournaments. Knight f3, d takes c4, and e3, attacking the pawn on c4. Knight f6, bishop takes c4, and then c5. So there are many games played by very top grandmasters in the same variation. Like I think Vladimir Kramnik, he has many games in this opening. So white castles, knight c6, uh, queen e2, a6, with the idea of b5, knight c3, and b5. And Javokhir brings his bishop back, bishop d3, and Fabi plays bishop b7. So white has castled, his king is safe, all minor pieces are developed, leaving the bishop on c1. Even black, he has good queen side space, and now his plan is to, like, just play bishop e7 and just castle. So Javokhir, as his king is safe, Javokhir doesn't want to give time to Fabi, and he starts attacking a4. Uh, Fabi plays b4, kicking the knight on c3. So knight comes to e4, and then knight a5. Idea behind knight a5 is to play knight b3, forking the rook and the bishop. Uh, Jauhir plays knight takes f6, check. G takes. Now the king side pawn structure is broken, so most likely black's king will stay in the middle throughout the game. Or maybe Fabi can just, after bringing the bishop, Fabi can castle artificially by playing king f8 and king g7. So Fabi plays Sindarov plays d takes c5, and here comes knight b3. And this is a critical moment in the game. So uh, now Fabi is attacking the rook and the bishop. So a normal instinct would have been to, just move the rook to b1 and uh, let let Fabi take the bishop on c1. But no, Sindarov calculates another variation and he plays c6 here. So after c6, which is an excellent move and the only move which holds the advantage for white. So the plan of c6 is, now if Fabi plays knight takes a1, we can white can play c takes b7, and after rook b8, bishop takes a6, supporting this pawn. And now if we try to escape with our knight, like knight b3, then we have bishop b5 check, forcing black's king to move. Uh, and after king e7, queen c4. So attacking the knight, and I don't have time to save my knight. So like now if Fabi had played knight takes c1, I can play knight d4 with the idea of knight c6, and it's check. I'm winning the queen, and remember, king can't even go to d7 or e8, so king has to come further down, and there will be rook d1 check coming in, and it's a game over for black. So after c6, Fabi plays bishop takes c6, which is the only good move, and here comes knight d4. So again, not giving black time to capture the rook. If black captures the rook here, uh, white can just play knight takes c6, attack on the queen, and now everything is coming. Bishop takes a6, bishop b5, and again your knight on a1 is doing nothing. It's basically trapped. So Fabi plays knight takes d4, e takes d4, and rook g8, uh, bringing the rook on the open g file, and g3, because there was a double attack on the g2 pawn. So bishop and rook were targeting the g2 pawn, and hence g3. f5. So Fabi plays this, I think maybe to avoid bishop takes h7, but after f5, now that light squared bishop is doing nothing on this diagonal, Sindarov says, okay, I'll bring my bishop to c4 then. So taking control of this diagonal, avoiding any queen d5 ideas, and also keeping an eye on the weak f7 and e6 pawn, now that e6 pawn is pinned to the king. So Fabi plays rook g4, attacking the double attack on the d4 pawn and also pinning it to the bishop on c4. Sinaro plays bishop e3, uh, bishop d5, trying to exchange of the pieces, and rook c1. So now if bishop takes, Javokhir can play rook takes c4. So Fabi plays bishop e7 and bishop takes a6. So now Sindarov's plan is to play bishop b5 check, get this good diagonal, also support the a4 pawn. And this is a passer now. Fabi plays king f8, bishop b5, and bishop f6 from Fabi. Double attack on the d4 pawn. White supports it with rook d1, so supporting twice. And king g7, and uh, Sindarov plays bishop c6. Again, skewering the rook and the bishop on the light squared bishop on the d5. Fabi, Fabi plays rook a5, bishop takes, rook takes, and now Fabi is attacking, piling up on the d4 pawn here. So Sindarov plays rook c5, and after rook d7, he pushes the pawn d5, and e takes d5, and now Sindarov plays queen f3, attacking the weak f5 pawn and triple attacking the d5 pawn as well. Fabi captures the b2 pawn. Previously, it was supported by queen, uh, but after queen f3, b2 pawn was unsupported, so he captures it, and then comes rook takes d5. After rook takes d5, attacking the queen and the pawn is queen e8, and after rook takes e5, rook g6 by Fabi, and here comes h4. So Sindarov trying to just checkmate the black king, because this file is very weak and he doesn't want black's rook on this file. So he wants to take complete control of the g file. So after bishop c3, h6, now this g5 square and g4 square both are covered. So Fabi has to play rook a6, just trying to attack the passed pawn on the a4. And here comes queen g4 check, taking the control of g file, king h8, and here comes bishop d4 check and skewering the bishop. So here, if Fabi had Fabi even doesn't have even the option to take the bishop, because if bishop takes d4, queen takes d4 check, king g8, rook g5 check, king f8, and here comes queen takes b4 with a check. Only way to defend this, because g file is covered with the rook, this diagonal is covered by the queen. So black has to play something like queen e7, and after queen e7, Sindarov can just give a check. So removing the defender of queen, black has to take the rook, and queen takes queen, and Sindarov is a queen up. So this is a winning position for white. So in this position, uh, after bishop d4 check, black had to play f6, and here comes rook c5. And in this position, Pabi resigned, because there is nothing black can do here. If rook takes a4, I can like if uh, I can just play rook takes c3, even sacrificing my rook. Pawn takes, and now there is a discovered attack on the rook, so I can just play bishop takes f6 check, and after king moves, even it can't even move. It's a checkmate. So there is nothing black can do. And in this position, Fabi resigned, and yeah, Sindara won the game. And Sindarov, he has a score of 3.5 out of 4 in this candidates tournament. And yeah, like it's getting really crazy. And I think Hikaru is still playing, but I think he has a winning position against Wei. So everyone is catching up. But seeing Sindarov's game, it's hard to rule him out of the candidates. Like it is possible he can even challenge Gukesh for the championship. It seems like it. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you have any interesting suggestions for me to analyze any other games. Until then, tata, bye bye.